Hello. Hello, hello, hello. We should be streaming. That's not the stream. Hope everyone's doing well. Hello, hello, hello. Hope everyone's having a good day. Just pinning this so people can see that I'm open to being questions about something. And yeah, let's give this a quick share as we usually do, on the usual way. Trying to fix a terrible performance issue. There we go. And yeah, that's us set up, ready to go. So yeah, let's bring up the chat, and this is us. This is our Visual Studios. So it is not clickbait. I found a huge performance issue after yesterday's stream. So what ended up happening at the end of the last stream, okay, chat is up, is we got to a point where I was adding all the collision geometry and all the what is it called, the scene. I guess I added everything to the scene, and we started to dip below 30 frames per second. Now you may think, okay, that doesn't sound too bad. I have a 4070 graphics card. That is pretty bad. So I have been hacking away. If you've seen it on the in our Discord, I've been discussing it with someone. This is what we're going to be looking at all day, is these graphs. So hopefully you're getting used to this. Get used to see this. I think it's just better if I just show you. Actually, I'll show you the picture. So this is with all the rendering happening. This is where the actual drawing happens, and this is where things get submitted to the screen. This is where nothing is happening. We've got a large part of the frame, and it's even worse than this because I've actually cut some other things out. A large part of the frame, nothing's happening, and it's slowing us down drastically. So I'm going to have to investigate synchronization, things like that. Currently, I am running in release. I should bring everything back. So I have made a few little improvements, nothing major. What I'll do is I'll bring everything back and I'll show you the state of things, because I've been working on this. Stop my timer. Been working on this for a couple of hours before the stream. So this was quite a bit of a shock, so we'll try and figure that out. Yeah, there we go. Get to see Insight in use in full power. Hope you're having a good day, dude. Yeah, it's good to see you too, man. Yeah, grab a drink. Hopefully you sit down and enjoy, basically. Hopefully you have a good time. But I'm just going to bring back everything that's so you can see what I'm talking about. There will be, this will take me a minute, but I want to get everyone on the same page, where we left off yesterday at least. So I can always just Control Z my way back to this position. So a bit longer, and I'll sort this out, and you'll be able to see the performance drop that we get, like a massive performance drop. GPU profiler, and GUI thingy, and just give me a little longer. I need to change turn everything back on because I want to show you 100% like the issue that we saw yesterday. So if you just give me a minute just to uncomment everything that I've been doing while away from the stream. So what I'm doing now is just bringing back everything that I removed, debugging wise. So there should be a GPU profile there. Let's just make sure everything's good. And final thing, just check. Right, I'm gonna leave some of the stuff in because it's some of the stuff's chill. Some of the stuff is legit, just an improvement. So I'm not gonna add that back in. I have found some performance gains, but nothing on the margins of what we need. So anyway, oh, you're changing from a Windows 10 Pro to Windows Internet of Things Enterprise long-term support. Yeah, it's probably a good idea to do that myself. So this should run in release with everything on as we were before the stream ended, and I'll show you the same tool that we used to measure the once this is loaded, the frame rate, and this was in release, so everything should be optimized. There shouldn't be any yeah, I had a feeling we would miss something. Give me one moment, that'll take no time at all to debug. I've just literally missed something out. So port ends 2032. Yeah, I've heard on the forums that's what it's a really good idea to try. What have I missed? Oh, yeah, that. Sorry. Okay, so that's not going to work. And what else did I miss? I could just get stashed, to be honest, to get back to exactly where we were. Yeah, I'll even turn on the physics. And that is everything as far as I can see. So this and... oh yeah, the Vulkan debugger. And what else? Nothing here really. I'm just checking this line down the side here that's just telling me if something's changed. And right. Okay. Presentation image was not presented. Oh, I see. Okay. Interesting that it's breaking. I know what that is. I thought it was an improvement, but it's just I've just broken something. That's easy to fix. Let's fix this quick. Let's just lazily bring it back like this, and we should be good. That was it, I think. We're trying to present things to an to the presentation image that don't. Okay, so that's debug. We want release. And okay, so once this builds, I'll show you the frame rate that we're getting. Okay, so not in sight. Yeah. So you see that number there? That's the frame rate. Yeah, ignore everything moving around. It's okay. That's just a bug that I've introduced. That'd be easy to fix, though, more or less. I can turn off the debuggers, and even with that, we get like a small performance gain. But like I said, my graphics card's pretty good. It shouldn't be chugging this hard on a scene this simple. Okay, so the okay, so let me change everything back. The other thing I want to do quickly is change our colors, and I should be happy then. Ah, that's what's okay. I commented out the physics and then expected everything to work normally. No, it's still weird. What is this issue? So yeah, let me debug this for a minute. this worked prior, so it could be this. This was something I threw away. Yeah. Okay. And if I remove the... sorry, if I go to... What is it called? What I'm trying to do is... Okay, so we have this, we have this, we have this. So I guess I could launch this into Insight, and we can start. I can show you like how bad things are, and then hopefully we can improve them throughout the stream without breaking everything. Okay. Then you run. Okay, things are behaving a bit strangely, admittedly. I thought things were okay before the stream started. Clearly not. I just want to see if it runs. Okay. It runs by... I don't know why that was happening. Oh, I know why. I know exactly why it's happening. So... Yes, I wanted to see like the worst case scenario because I wanted to show you like how bad it is, but I don't think I can have validation layers on. And it's a very common thing. You can't have validation layer, Vulkan validation layers turned on. So let's turn these off. Like you can't do that in what is it called? The other debugging tool. So if we load this and then run. Okay, cool. And then hopefully we get a connection to this. Let's try again, come on. Let's close this perhaps. Okay, maybe not. Start activity. Nope. Okay. Let's keep disabling things. There's other stuff that I might definitely release, yes. This definitely runs. Right. Okay, so connection is failing. I might have to reboot this, which is kind of awkward. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is remove the logging in the foundation layer. So this is the printing to the screen, this is the checks, and this is the reporting. So, okay, so let's just see if that works. Should do. Hey, Ratchet, how you doing? We're going to see how we do once we load this up. I'm just disabling things to make things run in Insight. And then we're going to continue on. Huh. We're going to continue on debugging. Yes, there's going to be... I'm going to get rid of the physics as well. But it's just currently not wanting to connect all of a sudden. No, okay, there we go. Okay, so this is without anything that I did. Open. Oh, that's this. Oh, this might be DWM. Let me just look that up. I think that might be the streaming software. DWM. Oh, you need to see pros, not apps, really. How do you search a process? Now, regardless, effectively, what I wanted to show you anyway is the... Oops, that's not exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. Okay, not completely though. Okay, let me go this. No? Okay, this is being a bit awkward. But effectively, the drawing's happening here and there's a big gap here. I think this might be the streaming setup. If not. But anyway, what we're investigating is like what's happening. Why are we idling for so long? How is it? DWM is a Windows thing. Oh, great. Let me restart then. Let's do another one. Okay, hopefully it's just gonna behave now. And open. Okay, that's more like it. So, as you can see, there is so much like this is per frame, so we've got this massive gap. Now, when I load up my other engine, my older one, just to compare, and if I just select the whole scene, this is like typical. Well, I assume anyway. There's still a big gap here, but it's like considerably taken up by overwhelmingly the presentation, which is this part here. That's what this is doing, and the drawing. But if we look at our current engine, we have the presentation here, the drawing here, and then question mark here. This massive area, and this is why we're hitting basically close to 30 FPS, and we really shouldn't be hitting that at all. So it looks like from my investigation, this PCIe thing seems to be on the, if I go back to my other engine, even that has that like 15% PCIe, so this might be like a default thing that just sits there. I don't think anything's actually going to the GPU at this point. I mean, it could be, but it's hard to say. And if I go to, just so people who are interested, if I go to command buffers and click on the pipeline, okay. So you see this like lit up, and this is grey. Like the entire submit is here. So even if I click through all this, you'll just see everything turning up there, effectively. Like this bar is just where my mouse was, so I could put this here, for example, and then click through, and then assuming that it's longer than like a, I don't know, scroll down, this one, there we go. So yeah, this mouse, yeah, this thing's a bit misleading. This is actually where we are when I click on this particular index draw call, because it's for some reason slightly longer than the rest. But everything starts here, and let's just show the presentation as well. Presentation's there, this tiny little bit here. So I think me and Ratchet have decided, well, have worked out that this is because the CPU is the GPU is actually doing nothing here for like, I don't know, like X amount of milliseconds. That we're CPU bound. Like something on the CPU side is like eating up a load of resources. And so we're going to try and investigate that today. So hopefully that's chill. I think the first thing I can do is, because I thought it was related to something else, but it isn't. So if I run the, let me take a GPU trace so I can check something. Let me take a GPU trace so I can check something. GPU trace of what? Okay, it's just making sure this is updating properly. Sorry, Ratchet, what do you mean? The first thing I can do, I think, and just gain a bit of performance back, is I think the way I'm handling my synchronization is a little different than it was when I added this. Oops, I could be wrong, but this didn't seem to change literally anything. I do need to check though. This is, and then yeah, cool, and then escape. This could be still dodgy on Linux, but I'm just going to assume it isn't. If I run this version now, this does give a little bit extra performance, but not much. In comparison to this, let's click the whole thing. So I think, yeah. I'm going to rename this like base. Because this is where we're starting from. This is the baseline. And I think a minor improvement that we can make is that. Let's see. So we have, yeah, 14 to 9. So the number's gone down, even though the graph looks different. The graph actually looks worse. This actually looks better. But this has gone down to 9 milliseconds. It's hard to say. Sometimes this goes up and down. But yeah, keep your eye on the shape of the graph plus these numbers. These numbers are important. But yeah. Yeah, because it's possible that we're just pausing too much for the queue. Anyway, I think all we've done is actually reduce the amount of submission by the looks of things. I know we haven't. They're actually slightly more, which is, you know, varies. I'll also, just to satisfy people as well, I will take out IMGUI. That's an interesting point. I could throw in IMGUI exclusively. Can I try something just a bit mad? Just like instantly mad. I'm going to comment out everything other than IMGUI. So we're just going to see the tiny little UI on the windows. And just see when I compile that. Let me take a GPU trace. Oh, you want one of my GPU traces? I think that's what you meant. I will provide I'll provide that baseline GPU trace for people. Feel free to not take part at all. This is just for people who want to have a bit more fun. And this is how they find it. GPU capture. I want this one though. Not sure which one's which, to be honest. Remove from project. Why is it not called something else? So for, okay, so let's just check the time in that. 4:24:09. Okay, let's just gonna open this up again just to see. Is this the baseline one? So if I start up activity, no, this is the wrong one. Where on earth are the rest of them? I'm a bit of a noob when it comes to this, so please allow me a little bit of. Oh, okay. So they're for some reason in a completely different place than whatever that was happening. Now I want to keep that there for a minute. Okay, so 4 kilobytes. I'll throw the baseline in with no updates in the Discord. So this is our Discord server. If you do want to join, let me know and I can give you an invite, but I usually just give that out at the end. Anyway, but like I said, this is just completely optional. My baseline GPU trace. Okay, so that's sent out. And yeah, we're going to be debugging this. Okay, let's continue. So yeah, let's get rid of the physics, which I think I just did, right? No, actually I wanted to get rid of everything other than the IMGUI thing. So basically all the pipelines. I also think I don't need to clear the depth. Set the scissors and viewport every single pipeline, which I'm going to remove as well, but I just want to see how much different this is. So I think, oops, we'll see. I think I'm still rendering IMGUI. Yeah, this thing. Okay, good. So I'm going to throw that into Insight and just see the delta, basically. Like, is this affected by IMGUI? Like, how is IMGUI handling it? Then I can like refer to the IMGUI renderer and just see how that works in comparison to what we've got. So yeah, we're going to be seeing this a ton today. And oops, get open. Yeah, so this is what you want to see. This is the full frame being used, more or less, anyway. Where if I click on this, we have submission, and it's the presentation. So, but you can see like the majority of the frame is active. In between stuff like, I assume, like bindings and stuff like that. Still not 100% sure why this is here, but there is still some. 6.98. Interesting. Let me check the. Okay, let me just do something. I want to check the the frame rate again. Based getting rid of that one thing that we just did earlier. All right, you're back. Hi, Ratchet. I put the what is it called? Trace thing in the Discord. But I'm just gonna check the frame rate real quick. 200 frames per second. Okay. Interesting. So we get some jittery movements. Let me just check on the GPU side that I've actually restored everything to the way it was. And if not, there might be some extra synchronization stuff that we need to have. We're gonna have to add. Because what I need to do now is actually, because I don't know if I've just fixed it, but I'm not entirely sure. I posted a photo of the stack trace from my renderer if you want a quick. Yeah. I'll take a quick look. Let me just pull that up. Oh yeah, cool. So this is another graphics programmer in my stream, and he's very competent. So as you can see, this is what a good stack trace should look like. There's a lot more going on in his engine than mine, because mine's quite bare bones. But there is no big there's no big like gap, right? Like if I was to look at mine, like this doesn't exist in Ratchet's game engine renderer. Like there's no, like all these kind of stick together. If I bring that back up again. Yeah. So we're gonna try and get closer to this, and this is done in 8.25. So yeah, that's what we're going to tackle. I'm going to just examine my. So what I'm going to do briefly Yeah, thanks for that, by the way, Ratchet. It's also helpful to everyone in the audience so they know what a normal stack trace, GPU trace looks like. So yeah, it's very much appreciated. What I'm going to do is just briefly add everything back in, not that I had before. And I'm just going to try and compare baseline with, because what I need to actually look at on top of what I've just done is, okay, like what is the frame rate? What does the frame rate look like when I've removed everything? I think what I'm going to do as well is just write something down. So Ratchet has said 10.3 milliseconds actually at... Yeah, sorry, I did miss out other things, but you could see in his that there is... there are other Vulkan things here that's part of the whole. So you can see that their frame, 10.38, so yes. And the resolution is 16 by 900, and mine's even lower, so... we have a massive performance issue, basically. So this is the baseline. I kind of want to just check what's the frame rate look like, because I can't tell what's improved. Oops. Is it just me removing everything from the frame, or yeah, this please. No, we're still shit. That's fine. Okay, because I did kind of get shocked. I was like, what? Why are we at 300 frames per second all of a sudden? And the reason that we've got that level of performance is because I have removed all the logging and the validation from the engine. So there's a bunch of stuff happening that's like checking if things are correct. And because I'm just concerned with performance, and you also can't profile with Nside with these on anyway, I'm having to disable them, and that gives me like basically almost a 10x improvement, but that's not real. Like that type of performance gain is only because I'm turning off things, not because I've fixed anything. Turn off this as well, and we should be back to our performance level. Yeah, I've just I got, yeah. So you got 6 total submits, 2 for WSL, and 1 graphics queue and 1 compute queue. Sounds pretty good, yeah. Yeah, I'm disabling everything just so we can get like the raw, uncut version effectively. I finally made my first project. It took me 13 days, but I did it. I did that. Nice, Vanish. You are a beast. No, it's sick. Sorry about that. That's sick, that. So this is going to slow things down. What I don't understand is why is there a difference? See, like when I move around, the things don't update. They update in unison, basically, properly. And yeah, let's change the colors of this. Sorry, it's a bit of a setup heavy stream, but hopefully I'm explaining what's going on a bit. So before we do anything else, I just want to change the colors, the collision spheres that are yellow and static to a different color. Let's change them to, I don't know, red, just completely red. I think that's chill. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, let's see if we can fix that. So Ratchet's just pointing out my script sets are being bound over and over again. And there is a chance that I could do it outside of this. actually don't know. Oh yeah, they've all got the individual descriptor sets. What we could do is we could move to... Okay, so if we... Can I look at something? There's probably more errors that... I'm just debating if I should go to buffer device address completely to just get rid of descriptor sets, and that's what we end up doing. And then trying to update them like this with a VMA copy allocate thing, instead of having this bind over and over again in between the draw calls. So let me think about that for a moment if I want to do that, because that's going to take a minute to implement. It's not like too difficult or anything. It's just, and I've done it before. It's just this is the other thing. I don't think I need to do the scissor and the viewport every single time. I don't even know if this is like dependent on the pipeline really. Is that dependent on the pipeline or what? This is something else I'm kind of confused about, because I feel like you just need to do it once. And I've done it three times. It's not something I've thought about until like performance has become an issue, so that's what I'm thinking anyway. It just seems like a holdover from like a copy and paste thing without thinking. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I'm just going to do this and just see what happens, basically. Yeah, no, you point things out as you go. It's I'm gonna hold off doing big changes, I think, until okay. So how much time will it take? How much time will it take me to do this? GS. You meant do things. Do things as you currently are torturing yourself with C++ projects, library management system, and developing more. How long would it take? Basically, I'm just going to paraphrase that and just say you want to. How long will it take to reach my level? Or how much longer will it take things as you currently are torturing yourself? Oh, how much it would take me? I'm going to say I have no idea how long it's going to take me, but if you want to try and reach this level, it won't take that long. So I have some weird draw calls. Indexed draw call. You want to see my indexed draw calls? There they are. There's one. And the other one's exactly the same. Just by the number of... So we're drawing them for each entity. That's why there's so many. So each rock is an entity, so we're drawing each rock with one draw call. The definitions of that function, please. Sure. You want to see that? Yeah, it's literally just one line. I literally could pull it out with a VK. So this is the index, indices. We're not instancing, which we should be doing, to be honest. But like I said, I haven't thought about it until. So I'm gonna also debug other things. Oh, that's strange. So you propose something that doesn't make any sense. First instance is a bad number. What? Right, I'm going to look for that myself as well. So Ratchet's pointed out that there's a draw call in this that has a silly number in it. That looks like it's... I don't know where you found that. Yeah, so let's just look at some random ones, I guess. Oh yeah, that's weird. First instance is this. They're all 0. Have I got the wrong amount of zeros? It shouldn't work then. Okay, I'm just going to put 0 in here and just also have a look. That's very strange. I don't have any instancing. Okay, so let's throw this... Oh. Oh, weird. Okay, hang on. That might be I'm GUI. Let's get rid of I'm GUI. Let's... Yeah, so there might be an I'm GUI bug here that we've just discovered. So one thing... Okay, so let's look at that as well. So we have a... Just click any draw call. Any watch TV. Doesn't matter what channel. Okay, so the last one. Yeah, that's not... None of these are correct. I don't understand why it's displaying... Or is that literally the maxed? I'm confused now. Okay, so I'm just going to export this out anyway and just see the difference. Okay, that works. Nope, that's not what I want at all. So we're going to do another one. And F11. Open. So the IM GUI is not going to work, but do we get the same crazy draw calls? Yes. What? Why is that? I don't understand. This might be... I'm just going to throw this out there. People may disagree, but... I don't know if this is picking up anything that makes any sense. What I'm going to do is just, as well, for sanity's sake... Whoops. So we need this to have a different number depending on whatever. And I'm going to build this and run it. Oh, hang on. This needs to be 1. There's 1 instance of things. Okay, so if I throw this into the profiler again, we launch this, and press F11. And then I go to... Okay, so OBS got caught up in that. So I'm going to say anything red is just ignore. If I go to the bottom... Yeah. It's possible that the streaming maybe is interrupting the numbers, because it's definitely 0. There's no way this is not 0 because of the number there. And yeah. Yeah, debug labels. Bye bye doc. I'm not sure who you're referring to there. Yes, we're still listening. Yeah, so ignore anything that's red if we see that. Yeah, I wasn't getting this earlier before streaming. I wasn't getting any like random red stuff. Oops. Let's see. I am wondering if there is a chance that we've made like the slowest buffers of all time or something. I don't want to do this again, but this was like a big thing that I kept messing up. I wonder if I need the mapped bit, even if I'm not making a map on immediately, if that makes sense. Let me just bring up that resource. Just so I get the enums right. Because I've heard if you get this wrong, sometimes it works, but it's like the slowest thing you've ever seen in your life. Oh, that point, yeah. Bye bye, Doug. Bye. Off he goes. Sorry, see what you're saying now. Dang, bro, Vulkan seems complex. Yeah, it is pretty complex. I can't really sugarcoat it. But it's just something you have to keep trying and getting better at. So let's see. Go and initialize this again and profile and see, is the mapping of that gonna change anything? So open. Not really. I mean, we're at 6.56, which is that better? So baseline. Let's move this over. I mean, it's 14. This is 6. This is... Oh, that's annoying. Let's look at the frame at the top. 7, 5, 5. And this is... yeah, this was me getting rid of everything. So 5. These 4 here are with... what's the baseline? It's 5 as well. Okay, so this is actually showing slower performance when I did that. So let's get rid of that. We actually made things slower. That's what I'm thinking. It could be like a buffer resource or something. Allow create host. This is for bindless buffers. So this is for the textures. Right, I'm just gonna like see if it works. Quick thing, you can take a capture in render doc to verify you messed up. Yeah, I can do that, yeah. I can definitely do that. Let me just check. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that in a minute. I just want to see if I've improved the performance by removing that enum for the bindless buffers, which will be the textures. And then I'll do that to see if I've messed up the draw calls in render doc. So this might be more complicated than it looks, Vulkan, because right now I'm profiling the GPU. So it's 5.77. No, that's not what I want to compare against the baseline. So it's roughly around the same. Wish this wasn't in the way. Because I can't tell if if this is added to the frame, to be honest. But anyway, let's do the render doc thing. Do I need to run this as administrator? I'm just going to run it as admin anyway, because sometimes you need to do that. And as long as they're not going to battle each other, let's... Where's the launch application? There we go. Not debug. Release. And launch. And we want to capture a frame. And we want to close this. And yeah, this always, I don't understand this. Why we get undefined IMG. But yeah, let's look at the... So... let's look at the arguments. Let's go to the last one, because we saw that was a particularly dodgy looking one. Nope, looks normal to me. So it's just Insight not picking this up properly. By the looks of things. So we can't trust Insight when it comes to our stack trace. Yeah. I don't think I've set up Insight. Just for people who are wondering, this is what version I'm. Oh, I assume it would tell. Okay, so yeah, 26.0 build graphics Insight. So this is what I'm actually using. If you want to debug it yourself, but I think you've got to have an NVIDIA GPU to do this. That or RenderDoc is validating your draw calls. Can RenderDoc do that? Like fill in the blanks? Like initialize everything to 0? I don't know. So that's the red balls being added. They're the rocks being added. Oops. Sometimes? Oh, I didn't know that. I wouldn't know how to check basically. But this is what it's always looked. Well, I actually never looked at this before. Okay, so yeah, so I think we can get away with sequential right. I'm going to check the other things like the creation of textures as well, just to make sure they're not all garbage. But I don't know if that's going to prove the complete lag at the beginning. I could also check the textures that aren't like massive. That's... No, but that would make only one part of the graph. Okay, just so Ratchet's aware and everyone else is, I can comment out, I can comment out everything in this like render loop or whatever, and just leave in the debug with no textures. We still get the massive gap at the beginning, but it's not as severe because it feels like each time we get each time we have a new graphics pipeline bound, like, and do something with it. Oops. Yeah, I wonder if I can select. Does that tell us anything? Yeah, stuff doesn't work basically. So, what am I saying? I got distracted. So if I comment out everything that doesn't have textures and just render the spheres, we still have the big gap at the beginning of this graph. And slower performance than we should. But I honestly don't exactly know what L2 sector hit rate and all this kind of stuff is. I'm just going to keep looking at stuff. Because I haven't actually looked at this flame graph. Some shaders are missing. Require debug info. Yeah, but the thing is with this, it's not really... Unable to show hotspots. Just let's see what to try and figure out. No data for events. Okay, so this is just events. It's just messages. Okay, so that's not a concern. These things down here. Oh, I can compare traces. That might be useful. See trace analysis. Warp stalled. What's this? What? So the warp stalled. Long scoreboard. Oh, GPU idle. Hang on, it's 18%. Where's the idleness? That's not enough to explain what's going on. Oh no, that's GR active. Sorry, I thought I read that something. That says GPU engine active. Completely. So this is GPU idle here though. 18%. Are these high or low? I don't know. Waits for idles. Apparently 0%. So nearly 10k or nearly 9k. Percentage of cumulative warp cycles for warps. Waiting on dependencies. Textures or buffers, surfaces. So you have 99% GR cycles active, and I have... Oh, it's the other way around, so it's inverse. 18%. That would make sense. Yeah, that's about right. But I'm doing a lot more stuff on the GPU. But shouldn't I just be doing the same thing? Top issue. Warp stalling. That's what it's saying the biggest issue is. Percentage of accumulative warp cycles for warp waiting on dependency. Go to the input dependency panel on the shader profile and locate the most expensive LaTeX load instruction. Try better hiding LaTeX instruction. Why is it talking about LaTeX? Sorry. L1 tech. I don't know. It's not LaTeX actually. This analysis is mostly useful for optimizing draw calls / dispatches. Oh, okay. Not what we're trying to do then. I just thought maybe there's a thing that we can get. Let's do a let's do a graphics capture just to see this as well. I know it's not the same, but maybe it's useful. Why is YouTube stopped? That's not right. Go next. So I added some music to this playlist, but the playlist is already so big. Okay. That we're probably not going to get any. Yeah, these don't seem too bad. I mean, we have an idle queue thing here. Update memory. No, this doesn't tell us much. I looked at this earlier. This is the first thing I looked at. Okay, so CPU duration scale. Begin command buffer. Well, let's just zoom out. Recording. Oh my goodness. Please just work. Stupid playlist. Okay, I don't know what's going on with YouTube today. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I'll do this as well because I don't think it matters. What's this though? But these are all at the end. That's what I don't understand. This is whatever this brown is. It's at the end, right? I'm confused. This might be just the wrong thing that we're looking at, to be honest. Analysis best works with multipass metrics enabled. Okay. Okay, let's start again then. Yeah. Cool. This is only really showing me the GPU, right? It's gonna show me the rest of the frame. I'm just going to close this now because that's not doing anything anyway. We had this open. Oh no, wrong thing. Oh no, that was it. Yeah, sorry, that got it. Make this a bit bigger at least. Move this over. Okay, I'm gonna try again just to hopefully Windows chills out and gives us like a cleaner thing, because I'm gonna stare at it a bit and just try and see. Do multi-pass metrics. I don't know what force repaint does. I'm collecting screenshots. I'm doing all this. Allow tracing, replays, resets. I think that's to do with ray tracing. It's my graphics card. Top triage. Maybe I can do throughput metrics. I'll do both. Did I do it? Oh, yeah. Open. Warning, multipass metrics unavailable, no performance markers. Ah. Okay. I'm gonna just check my presentation mode as well. That could be a big, like, stupid mistake that I'm making. I've got it on VSync and it's just... But I don't think so, because the frame rate goes up and down. It's on Mailbox, I think. Mailbox. Yeah, if anything's, like, confusing for anyone who's, like, new watching this, please feel free to ask and I will explain stuff. Where is Mailbox gone? And no, that's what I want. Okay. Try immediate maybe, just to see if there's a difference. Mailbox is what you should be doing now. This is going to cause V-tearing, like all the time. Okay, that works. Yeah, because I am a bit aware that what I'm doing is pretty crunchy, if that makes sense. It's a bit intense. Data collected. Let's close this. Open. Nope. So even in immediate mode, there's like no difference. I'm just going to try different presentation modes just to see what the differences are. So first in, first out, FIFO should be considered only for like non-GPU hardware, I think. And this should be at 60 FPS no matter what, because that's what my monitor's refresh rate is. Just make sure it's not set to a different value and I don't realize. So this is if there is no default to FIFO, if there's no FIFO. Assuming that you've called this function. But on my GPU, the graphics card, there shouldn't be any need for me to use first in, first out, and anyone else who might want to run this. You will likely have first in, first out, mailbox and all that normal presentation engine stuff. So this should be, yeah. So this is considerably slower because we're capped at the moment, but I kind of want to see how that looks in this tool just to see the differences. And then after this, I'm probably just gonna try and guess stuff. Because that'll tell me if like there's a presentation engine thing going wrong. Bye bye. Open. Literally doesn't make a difference. I don't think. Let's go to the... Yep. Huh. And a render dock. What does it tell us? I don't know why it does that. So if you scroll in, just so people see undefined image. I'm gonna Google this because it could be an actual error that I'm just can't. But it's also like render doc might be render doc being render doc. Okay, so undefined. Oops. Undefined image in render doc. So image not rendering final swap chain according to... Oh. Looks like the image... It might suggest that we've got a bad synchronization then? I mean, we definitely could move away from... The thing is, if I move away from buffer device address... move away from descriptors and all that. So mailbox, back to mailbox. Right, I'm just going to do this just for sanity's sake. So we want to get rid of this completely. And this. Everything up to here. So this is just going to render the spheres. That's the debug renderer. These are using buffer device addresses with push constancies to hold the actual pointer to the buffer device address. And that's a compilation error because this doesn't exist. There is literally nothing that complicated. It only has a position. It only has a position. So there's nothing really here. Balls. Apart from like the simplest shapes. And if I were to load this into Insight, we do see an improvement on the ratio or whatever. Love it when it hits the asteroids. F11. And we open this. We only see like a slight improvement. I can't see exactly why that would be the case. I mean, I am tempted to move the buffer device addresses exclusively anyway, but I don't... You know what it is? I don't think we've got a... I think it's the same problem. Here's the thing. I think it's the same problem. Because here's the actual... In that case, if it's all... Hang on. If everything that draws... Maybe it's like other things. Maybe it's other things. So let me do this. I don't know why I put this in a for loop, to be honest. This could be completely wrong. Now, I also could be getting validation errors for this, so in my mind, I should be just transitioning one image rather than 3 at once. I will turn on validation just to check that I'm not going to make a mistake here, because it might work, but I might be doing something wrong. So yeah, give me a minute. So whoops. No, it's double clicked. I'm not going to obviously change this to debug. Send this up to end sites or render doc. Let's get this in. There we go. So yeah, this won't take that long to build. Oh, okay, yeah. I got a bit concerned then. Okay. So, and the error says presentating isn't undefined. I think I'm gonna not immediately jump off this. What might have happened here is the frame incremented in the middle, so we're transitioning the correct thing here, and then the incorrect thing later on. So let's just check that. So, which would make sense to me. So obviously, okay, this is 1, fine. And then this is, this is also 1. And then, wait, current frame starts at, maybe need previous frame. I won't stick a long time on this. I just want to check that. I wonder if I can get around this at all. I don't think that's gonna work, but wow, bro. I want to learn this language. Oh yeah, C++. Well, it's open to anyone who wants to learn. You can join the club. There's plenty of jackets. No, it equally does not work. So, and this is also because the layout is undefined. Sure, let's change this back then. I really don't want this to be the case though. Make a current frame. Last gambit. This is just a mad plea to hopefully this works. No. It's not wanting to work. And even if I do the other way around, which I do previous frame, and then this is current frame, I think we're still transitioning the wrong frames to the wrong layouts. All right. Yeah. It's sad. Because if we could avoid doing 3 frames for every frame in flight, that would be nice, but it just feels wrong. It's like, why would we transition all 3 if we're only working one frame? You know? And now I'm looking at performance, because my performance is so crappy right now. I don't know. Okay, I've probably... Hang on, why are you complaining? Oh. Derp. It's... Where is it? There it is. I forgot to change this to I. Okay, so now we transition all the images that are going to be presented / worked on to this. The frame rate is poopy again. Okay, so let's get back into it. How long have I been working on this project? This project specifically, probably about 5 months. But I've been working on this game engine. My YouTube channel has like documented videos that go back to like 2 years ago plus, and they've been like other game engines. So it's not like I've just started learning game engines and then transitioned to this. There's been a lot of build up. So yeah, I would say, depending on how you cut it, 5 months to 2 years and 5 months. And yeah, so we've commented out everything. Let's see if I... No, what am I trying to do here? I need to disable everything. Log again. So this turns off. Vulkan report is for it's validation. What's the one? So validation that removes the checker, that removes the printing, and the GP and the this thing up here that turns off reporting altogether. I'm on my 5th iteration of starting a game engine. Yeah, it's yeah, stack v kick or whatever. Yeah, I know it well. It's pretty this is my 3rd renderer. What am I on at the moment? I'm on my 5th engine. I'll just have a quick look. Yeah, so air falls. Okay, so this is me just following something. Yeah, so gust, tempest, air, wind, which isn't here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm not including the falls because that's something else. That's like I was learning. I was just like following a tutorial. Oh, excluding the ones that didn't go anywhere. Okay, now I'm at 0 according to that metric. For example, there was this rust one actually, lol. Ah, I see, okay. Because, okay, so... Caught up in the hype. This is tragic. I don't exactly know. Okay, what I do know is like when I comment out everything. Okay, so we're going to abuse Vulkan, I think. What I'm going to start doing is just like commenting out stuff that will make Vulkan work. And just see if it still works on my graphics card. And if it does, that's the first thing I'm going to get rid of. Oh, hang on. I wonder if we're hitting this continuous one. Yeah. No, okay, we're not. But yeah, all of mine didn't go anywhere either. So, well, I mean, I made a YouTube channel, so that's something, I guess, question mark. Even though apparently my sister's friend who's in primary school has more subscribers than me, so I'm considered really uncool by my younger siblings. Yeah, getting mogged by like a 10-year-old. Oh, by not going anywhere, not working on them for too long. Yeah. I think the longest one I worked on was Wind. That was a full physics engine. Okay, so we're going to get rid of Iron GUI a minute. I'm also just going to render one. Yeah, let's render one entity and just see if that's still an issue. So we're just going to render one sphere. I don't know if it'll be behind us or in front of us, so it might not. It may look just black. So we don't want this. We don't want this. Any Iron GUI related stuff. And I just want to see if there's any, if that big gap's still there. If it's like the loop. So yeah, like I said, because the placement of the spheres are completely random, it's possible. Okay, so we're always going to see that yellow one, hopefully. Right, that's good actually. That's actually really good. So I think it's always the same yellow duck going down, which is, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, it's like that sphere's it's just the debug geometry for an entity that might collide into something else. So that's what the spheres are. So yeah, we're just gonna run another version. Oh, hang on. Why? Oh, I'm on debug. Okay, that was really quick as well. Let me do that again. It just seemed a bit quicker than normal. That just might be copium, but is that always that fast? Is it all of a sudden open? No, it's just mildly better. We still have a massive gap. I mean, the only reason this is so much smaller is because we're rendering so much less. Yeah, it's not like I've made a performance gain, really. Anyway, so let's build this one for release. Cool. There's a brief second of a yellow thing on the screen, but it's still going to be rendered because I'm not culling it based on the camera's position, so I don't have to worry about that. And I just want to see if there's a big gap if there's only one thing being rendered. Not knowing anything what you have been doing just motivates me a lot. Brilliant, I love that. Yeah, you'll get there, no problem, I believe. And that's true for anyone. Right, so this is what I want to see. This is what I want to see. But for some reason, so this is my ideal situation. Everything's filled up. Right, ignore the red again. The red's windows being a pain in the neck. Now we only have one draw call, admittedly, but there's no waiting on anything. So this suggests to me that the actual issue is the overhead of the GPU. I I don't know if it's the buffer device address. I don't know if it's the binding, updating the push constants, updating the index buffer, etc. Yeah, I agree. We should do that. So Ratchet, yeah, Ratchet's based. Who's up for doing software rendering? Next stream, software rendering. Right, I'm just gonna put these back. Right, so we put. Oop, I just did a Control X by accident. Okay. Do. Oh yeah, I love it. Where it's writing directly to video memory. Let's do it. Hi dude, hi Mozart. Hope you're having a good day. Okay, so let's... I mean, this is completely redundant, but I just want to see if adding 100 adds like a little bit of a weight, and then I want to see if that grows. I know it's, again, kind of pointless, but because I think I already know why this is happening now. But I just want to be absolutely certain. F11. Yeah, we're already starting to lose time to the for loops. Okay, so I think some people in the chat know what this means, and for those who don't, the reason that I'll explain it. Okay, so let me just restore everything back to the way it was, and I'll explain why we're getting so much lag between each frame and how to fix it. Okay, so this for loop here, for those, hopefully you know what a for loop is, but this just goes around an X amount of times. So in this case, this goes around 444 times. So sorry, 4,444 times. Every time there's a collision object, we write some data to a buffer. We update push constances, which are just a very convenient way to talk to the GPU without any setup at all. It's just like a tiny little piece of memory that we have access to. We then push that up, and then we bind the index buffer and then we do a draw, which means what gets recorded, everything is in sequence. Now, Vulkan is order dependent. Like it means something, the order which you do things in. So this means get the index buffer ready. This means draw with the index buffer that we just made. And then also down here, I'm writing all the data that we've collected for the shader, which is just something that runs on the GPU. And this runs, and this just uploads all the data for us in one go, rather than doing it individually in little bits, which is slower. Okay, so the problem here, I think, I could be wrong, but I think, is that the more times we loop through this before we actually present to the screen, the wider this gap gets. This gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until, let's just say I have like 6,000 entities. The amount of space would be like here. I'll push constants like uniforms in OpenGL. Yes, but you don't have to name them. You just have to make sure you've lined up them So in Vulkan and OpenGL, like, I could be a little wrong, but I remember OpenGL, you could just be like, the uniform name is, I don't know, matrix or view projection. Look for view projection in the shader, and then you send up the view projection matrix with that name. Whereas a push constant is similar, but you have a bunch of data that all has to be lined up, and I'll show you what that looks like. Here, so this is my push constants. So when I'm pushing these things up to the GPU, they have to be lined up, meaning that I need this to be sent up, this to be sent up, and this to be sent up. There's no name for it to correspond to. It's just like send it all up. It's just like a buffer, if that makes any sense. When you're sending up like a storage buffer object. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I won't go any further. I'm a bit foggy on OpenGL, very foggy on OpenGL. It's been many, many years. Like 3. They don't map to the same hardware all the time. Yeah, I wasn't yeah. So when I'm saying it needs to map, the important thing is the order. If I change the order of this and then recompile, it'll break. Which you can see if I do this. It's very simple to demonstrate. It expects it to redefine. That's a C++ error. Nothing to do with what I just changed. Let me just break it all. All red, which is not normal. And if I had actual graphics on the screen, like textures, you would see it all look terrible. Everything would be jiggling around. It would be all over the place. But anyway. So the order really matters. What you push up has to be in the same order that's pushed. So this, and this. Anyway. So we have a big overhead. No, we don't. Sorry. We don't have a big overhead. We have an overhead that gets bigger over time. So when we're doing one draw call, this is trivial. This is nothing. The way to solve this is get away from this loop. So don't do this loop at all. That requires you to do something called GPU-driven rendering. And I was hoping to do this later on because I'm not quite ready for it. But basically, instead of telling the CPU when to do the draw call, we get the GPU to tell itself when to do a draw call, removing that overhead, and a lot of this will get simplified. So yeah, that's the thing we're gonna have to work on. I think I'm gonna try a few little things, but I think this stream is gonna be me in about 10 minutes. I think I'm going to leave it for about 10 minutes. Yeah, that's what I'm just going to check. I think GPU rendering will solve the issue, even if we haven't got it quite yet, if that makes sense. So it could be the fact that we're uploading data. It could be the fact that... Okay, it can't be that. This is just C++. I can't imagine that's an issue. It could be the push constants, but the more I can get out of this loop, the better, and the less overhead there will be. You have a GPU CPU sync issue somewhere. I assume that you mean yeah. Sorry, I read that wrong. You have a problem with the CPU GPU sync somewhere. I don't know if you were here, Ratchet, just before. So when I render one entity, this is what it looks like. You see that? This is why the overhead, the more for loops I have, the worse this gets. So this is what it should look like. This is like a fully synced up. Sorry, fully synced up. A fully utilized, well, more or less anyway, a fully utilized GPU. That confirms what I'm saying. Okay. Let me think. So I record all these to the GPU. Sorry, I record all these to a command buffer. That gets submitted to the command buffer. That gets submitted to the submit queue thing on a graphics queue. There is no... This... Okay, let's zoom out. Okay. What the heck's happening with this song? I'll move on. No, it's... Sorry, I'm just going to throw in some... Okay, I didn't want quite listen to that again. Right, so the synchronization for me, I don't. Okay, let's zoom out then. If you think of synchronization, let's take that seriously and have a look. So the synchronization isn't in main, it's like another layer up. Or down, I guess, depending on which way you look at it. We have... we have a fence, we have 2 semaphores to order the queue. This I hate, I don't know, I just want to not have this have... I don't know why we're transitioning all 3 images at the same time. But anyway, we have... This is to do with textures, so this is completely irrelevant. This is not neat. This is nothing to do with anything. So you can ignore that because we're not doing anything with textures deliberately. I should get rid of this. This is like Vulkan tutorial style. It's just that's actually what it should be. Assuming that it's done twice. Hello. How you doing, dude? Your CPU execution should not affect GPU execution if you're under frame time budget and you have frames in flight working. Also, I was wondering how you can only... Sorry, I was also wondering how you can have only one buffer for an entity if you're writing to it on the CPU and GPU and reading it on the GPU. I'm going to worry about the first thing. Usually, if you have a infinite number, so FIF, number of buffers. I think... Alright, let's put this back. That was back. Why is it... Okay, there we go. I'm outside, not focusing so much. Have you figured out what was causing the lag? Not yet, unfortunately. I think I have, but people in the chat seem to disagree with my conclusion. Although I think our conclusions are similar. It's just our conclusions about exactly what's happening. So I'm saying it's the total number of loops, which is causing a lot of overhead in general. Someone in chat is disagreeing and saying, yes, that just proves that you've got a GPU to CPU sync issue. And that's why the GPU is waiting, because if you have a CPU that's taking so long or whatever, the GPU should still be able to do its stuff. So the GPU is waiting on the CPU to finish recording to the command buffer or something like that. That's what I'm understanding this problem to be from their perspective. I'm not disagreeing or anything. I just I wouldn't know. Oops. I wouldn't know exactly where the synchronization issue is happening then. So I think to take that person's messages seriously, or Ratchet's message seriously, we should... Okay, this shouldn't be on, by the way. I'm just going to comment this out. Just make sure this is never, ever, ever in this situation called. Because that is doing some profiling, that's just going to slow things down. Okay, what I'm looking for in this in this function, in these two functions, the presentation and new frame function, is something that's pausing the frame. There's a couple of things that need to pause the frame. We have a fence wait, acquire next image, a reset fence. I could be getting the order wrong, but I thought this is the right order. Because the fence, we have a previously submitted thing in the... Where is it? This. We have to wait for this to be done before we acquire the next image. So if I scroll up to here, we are waiting here. This is only invalid if we can't acquire the image. Okay, so because you could both be reading and writing to the buffer at the same time, if the frame is in flight, it's working. I could be reading and writing to the buffers at the same time. I see. Okay, that's what you want me to look at. So you don't want me to look at the presentation order. You want me to look at the so this buffer is a write sequence bits buffer from the VMA library, meaning that we shouldn't be reading from it at all. Each entity comes through, and it's just a, you know, entity that exists. It has data in it. We index into this entity, we get the model out, we get the color that was already set, so these can basically be ignored effectively. We update the view projection of this struct that we've just initialized here. We get the... I'm talking out this out loud so I can also think through it, so it's not like I'm thinking that anyone's wrong or anything like that. This is actually helpful for me to puzzle through, to understand what people are saying and also understand the problem better. So hopefully that's not seen as like patronizing or anything. That we take this object's position, which is what this is, I think, supposed to be doing. That could be doing something else as well. We convert this to a matrix 4x4, which is just a 16 row of floats. 4 rows and 4 columns of floats, so 4x times 4x. Then we update the push constants with the position index, which we use in the shader to actually get the position. This is how we index into the shared storage buffer object. Sorry, this is how we index. That's wrong. This is how we index into the buffer device addresses memory. We get the first chunk of data from the entity, and this is just a mesh draw data. So this is anything from this is the materials, this is textures, this is a where the index buffer and the vertex buffer, and this is technically an index vertex buffer. This is a buffer that is used. It's not a vertex buffer. It's the memory I pulled out of the GLTF file. I don't actually have a vertex, but I just called it vertex buffer. It's not a vertex buffer. It's just a buffer with vertices in, if I can say that. So it's not actually a vertex buffer. We take that, we access the vertex buffers thing. We set the buffer device addresses pointer to that buffer that we created with the vertices, which we just send up to the push constants. We then submit the push constants that we've, with the data, which is here. So we're sending this struct up to the shader. We then take the index buffer from that mesh draw thing that we got earlier, and all the other components that need to be done for an index buffer bind. Then, based on how many indices we have, we then do an indexed draw. Finally, we add the data that we have here to an array. This array then, once this loop's done all its work, and we fall out both this if statement and this if statement and this for loop, we then go into the VMA copy to allocation, which just basically maps some memory. It basically gives us some temporary mapped memory stuff. We take the pointer, which is the destination of things that we need to write to the shader, to go in and. So this is the what is this? This will be the position that we're going to index into here. This is what this is for. This is what we're indexing into. We're indexing into this data. And I can just confirm that by looking at this. So there's the position, there's the global that's the global scale, that's the model, that's the view projection. And yeah, we just send that up in one go. And then we basically delete the memory from the array. Okay, so that is that is the whole system that I've described there. I'm too beginner to understand any of this. Yeah, it's tough to explain as well. If it's partly I would always say if someone can't understand it, then maybe I've explained it poorly. It's possible. But are you reading from it on the GPU? That is, yes, I'm reading from it. You are not allowed to read from it on the CPU, though. Of course, I don't read it. I believe what this function does. This particular function. This doesn't read. This just writes sequentially. But maybe you're right. Maybe I am actually reading somewhere else and I'm missing it. As far as I'm aware, anyway, I could be wrong. I'll look at the documentation again. And by the way, what I've explained here just before in this for loop, you want to be doing GPU-driven rendering. I just haven't done it yet because I'm not lazy, but I thought I could get away with doing it until later on. So this is technically like Vulkan 1.1, 1.2 at a push. Stuff that you would do on a phone as well. Like you wouldn't want to do this. You would want to set up the draw calls to work on the GPU, which is a whole thing that I need to do a little bit of research in. Okay, so there could be an access here, a read access. So the reason that that's important is because you're not allowed, in some cases, depending on the buffer that you're accessing, you're not allowed to read. You're only allowed to write to that point in memory. So someone is saying in chat, Ratchet saying in chat, that I might be reading in chat. I might be reading some memory that I shouldn't be allowed to. Yeah. What I meant is the CPU might be writing at the same time the GPU might be reading. If that's the case, if you're using a single buffer. Ah, okay. CPU might be writing at the same time the GPU be reading if you're using a single buffer. I am using a single buffer, but my understanding though that I could just throw everything on there and then the GPU would... I never even thought about waiting for the, forcing the GPU to wait for everything to be written. Because for those who don't know, the GPU, when I say index draw call, that gets recorded to a command buffer, and this returns instantly, but this doesn't necessarily once it gets submitted. So these need to get submitted to actually do anything. Once these get submitted, there is almost zero cost to the CPU, and like there's a cost on the GPU because it needs to actually do something. So it's possible that my read and write, according to someone in chat, is actually, according to Ratchet in chat, is actually happening at the same time, causing synchronization issues, meaning that the GPU is like trying to access things and I'm writing to the things and it's not quite working at the same time. This is why we duplicate buffers that the CPU, that the CPU and the GPU might touch. Okay. So yeah, my buffer device addresses buffers. My buffer device address is... Are they buffer device address buffers or just buffer device addresses? I don't know. They could be bad. The way I've implemented them. How... Okay, so assuming that's true, how would I know? So I have a single buffer here. This is getting written to. At the same time it's being... So this is being written to by the GPU. Sorry, this is being written to by the CPU, and it's being read by the GPU. How would I know that's happening, and what I would need to do? I'm only asking because I don't actually know how to verify that effectively. Remember, the point of frames in flight is that both the CPU and the GPU are working together. Since you aren't running into this issue, it's more evident that the frames in flight are not working in your engine. Okay. So you're saying... Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. So in one frame, the GPU should be, I don't know, churning through something to draw. And on the next frame, we should be preparing things on the CPU side. So you're saying that there is for some reason in my code, the synchronization setup is that there is a frame in flight. Basically, the frame and flights are happening at the same time, or something like that anyway. Where we're trying to write to a frame and read from the same frame at the same time. So the GPU is on frame n+1 and the GPU is on n. Yes, there's 2 frames of flight. Yes. I have to go. I will catch you later. Hope you resolve this issue soon. Thank you very much. Yes, and thank you for anyone who's listening to us right now. This is part of the benefit of streaming is I can talk through the problem. Okay, so right, what should I be doing then? I'm going to look at my older engine because it's got like a very similar setup, and I just wonder if I should be getting the previous frame instead of doing the current frame for everything. Let me look. So I'm gonna take everything that you said, Ratchet, as like because it would be nice if we had our frames in flight mixed up. Okay. What am I doing? This is an older Visual Studios that this code is in. So we're gonna look at our, because it's possible that this also isn't good either, but it's definitely, when I look at like when I look at this, like there's a lot more going on. There is a bit of a gap here, for sure, but this is considerably better, and there's a lot more going on. So I'm just gonna have a look and just to see if compared to the other one. But in your case, I don't see any frames in flight. So the CPU and GPU. I'll show you my frames in flight. Let me look at the synchronization basically in this engine. So this is the parent engine from the engine that we're editing right now, and I'm just going to look at the like basically its synchronization setup. So I'm going to go a little. I'm not going to talk as much now, just so I can just to read a bit of code. So I just need to find present. I mean, I'll still talk, obviously, but I won't talk out loud my thoughts anymore. So what I'm looking for is, in this code anyway, is like an obvious smoking gun that I used. So the way I increment the frames in the other engine is I have a previous frame variable and a next frame variable, or a current frame variable even. And it's possible that I should be using a previous frame variable in like one of these frames in flights instead of a current frame for everything. So should I be presenting the previous frame and not the current frame? And I should, you know, I mean, that's what I'm going to look for. It makes sense, yeah. I think what you've described, Ratchet, is very, very logical. If I have a, let's move this over a bit. Oh, lost it now. Where was I? That was not fun. Okay, new frame. This is what I wanted. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to assume that's the issue, and we're going to dig through it until either of us have been convinced that it's not. Well, both of us have been convinced that it's not the issue, or we find the issue. And that'll be the rest of the stream, I think. And if not, I'll keep working on it until we crack it off stream, I think. Anyway, so what I'm looking for here is literally just a side-by-side comparison of. So I think we have, yeah. We also have a compute fence here, so we don't also necessarily have a. And we have a reset fence just above. Okay, I will move that. I don't think it makes a difference though. I mean, it might do, who knows. Just see if that doesn't gridlock. Okay, so he didn't like that. Put that back. Let's go and debug. If we're going to edit Vulkan code, we do need to see the errors. So, yeah, sorry about, excuse me for the sneeze. So I'm just going to turn these back on and go into debug, just so we can catch errors and reason about what's happening. Okay, cool. Okay. Scroll up to the. Okay, so when I move reset fence, I just want to see what the error was. Was it current frame? How do I index into this? Oh, I see. It's just, you know, whatever fence. Sure. Oops. Go back. Okay, so query pool and 100. Okay, let's just make sure. Right, that might not be the issue. I think it is, but let's just also run it quickly. Alright, I didn't think that would be the issue. I think this is actually now used again. So I'm going to turn this on. Yeah, I didn't think that was the issue. Alright, cool. Alright, cool. We have stuff going. And okay, so I'm just going to mirror exactly what my other engine's doing until I don't think we're going to find like a smoking gun. Yeah, okay. So like, for example, that I don't think means anything, but okay, we're back to baseline. So what I'm looking for is a so when we do this complete semaphore thing, so I need to find the non-timeline semaphore thing. So the non-timeline semaphores is, I think, this. No. Okay, here we are. And we have presentation 2. Nope. Okay. This is it for what we have here. Huh. Wait, semaphores. So you have a compute current frame, which is acquired semaphore. We have wait stages because we have a... Huh. Why do we have 2? Do I have 2? Okay. Weird. Okay, I'll copy that. I don't think we have a vertex input stage, but whatever. It's like a little duck in a duck ship. So when it submits with render fence. Okay, so I don't actually get to see what that is. Where is it? Okay. So no, it is common frame as well. Execute command buffer execute fence. So let's just check. Yep. Yep. So it's the current frame. Okay, so when we're submitting... Okay. I could just use the previous frame to submit and the current frame to... I don't know. Stupid. Sorry, let me sort out my headphones. I'm buying a new headphone wire today because this is breaking on me. Can't hear anything. Alright, I'm just going to have to put it with one ear. It'll only be for today, hopefully. Okay, so let's think. Complete. Okay, so is this used in the? Because that could be wrong. What I'm doing. So the signal semaphore uses the this use where is it? The where's the presentation? this. This is current frame. Yeah, let's change this to Vulkan image, I think it's called. Index. I believe. Like, this could cause like 1,000 errors, but I think that's right. Oh. I think that is a mistake if I was to... Right, let's just check submission as well. Duck jump scare for sure. Complete render first semaphore thing. So these are the same. So when I'm submitting, I should be... What is this frames in flight? Shouldn't I be doing this? I'm confused. Yeah, Vulkan complete semaphore, which is it's the non-image acquiring semaphore. This is what? It's the fence. What? Okay, yeah, maybe there was something wrong with my... Or is something wrong with my... This needs to be an address? I'm confused. Right, I'm gonna take this out of this check for a minute because I can't tell what's going on. So it doesn't like that. It's not the semaphore. Stem. Yeah, this is just the same deal as this. And then an address, and then signal semaphore, and then it apparently just... No. It wants to be a fence for Q submit. Am I going berserk? Q submit. Oh, complete fence. Why did I think that was the same thing? Okay, sorry, I got completely confused then. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, I don't mind the changes I made there, actually. What's the fence called? Got frames in flight, apparently. Back in the day. Of 4 months ago. Current frame, I think I said. Yes, thank you, IntelliSense. That was exactly what I wanted. There we go. Okay. Okay. Not confused anymore. I was confused on like how is this even working. Okay, so we have found an issue with my synchronization already. According to this older implementation. I'm also going to move this up because this is just confusing. For me anyway. Okay, so we have a wait stage, which is fine. We have wait image. Okay, let's have a look at that. So it's the current frame, yes. Reset is okay. Just double check. Ugh. Just this, please. So what's this semaphore used in? So surely there's more, right? So for presentation, When does your current frame get incremented? Oh, great question. It gets incremented here. So after the presentation and so after these two. Okay, so let me look through the next thing, the Vulkan swap chain. Okay, let me just go back to my other engine. Render complete. Render complete semaphore is the same as the submission one, the signal one. So whatever in signal needs to be in the P weight, I think. Yep, and it's the index. Is that? Yep. I mean, I could put the null in there, but it's already null, really. And then we present. And then here we increment after that. That might be a better version. When do I it's possible that I'm not adjusting for my swap chain being bad. I wonder if it's this. I don't like the way I've done this. I'm transitioning each, like all the images, in one go for each frame. Now, why would that affect read-write access in frames in flight? That's just probably a different mistake. I'm just gonna build. I know we haven't done anything since the last build, but I'm gonna check and release just to see if we've improved the frame rates. You do know that you can only touch the swap chain image. You have an init. Oh, okay. Alright, let's fix that then. But I'm just going to check the frame rate before we do that. I thought so, I had a bad feeling about it. Have we improved the frame rate? Is the question. No, it seems slow. Or maybe, hang on, let's just do a fair judgment. I'm just gonna swim around. Oh yeah, we got the horrible. Maybe we've got some bad UB here with this transition of an image. I really hate this. I saw this today and I was like, what the heck's going on? Why am I transitioning all three images? But there's no validation error. And I tried different versions. Hang on. I didn't try a Vulkan acquired image. Sorry about this, guys. Vulkan what is it called? Image index, yes. And that definitely comes out of the. So when I acquire the image, I'm getting the swap chain image that's legit, right? So that's the index. So when I'm actually accessing the swap chain images, this is the index I need to be accessing, I think. Now, I also need to fix the other version I'm doing this, the other time I'm doing this. I think I've got that right. is it? Sorry, I think I missed it. Oops. Okay, so we should have everything initialized to 0 if it's not used. So this is, I'm going to puzzle about what these transitions are doing. Vulkan in a minute, once I've seen what happened. And where. Oh yeah, we're in debug. Okay, so command buffer expects image to be color optimal, and it's undefined. So that is the beginning. That is not that one. That even that has not been triggered yet. That's this guy. Okay. Right, I'm gonna pick a song manually. I'm in the mood for a particular track, not this one. Oh, I passed it. Where is it? Oh, I think it's further up. Sorry. It's, I think, around. Is it? Okay, if I can't find it in a minute, I'll. Last look. Go slow. It's nearish the bottom. Got it. Okay. Right, okay, so we're not transitioning the image that we're going to currently be working on to draw to. Apparently. I don't know if I should be transitioning them all to... No, we need to transition them each frame. So what is this value when it's initialized? Equals... yeah, it's 0, I thought so. Okay, so what should I be doing? Because what I'm a bit confused about now is when I'm transitioning an undefined image that's going to be the swap chain to color optimal. Which one am I doing at the beginning of the frame? For the first time, because we haven't acquired the image yet. Should we be doing this before everything, maybe? I'll try that actually, because we acquired the image. Yeah, maybe I'm transitioning an image that we don't even have access yet because we haven't acquired it. Which makes sense to me. So, do we have access to it? No, we have. Yeah, we've done the new frame. Yet. Okay, so I'm gonna debug for a minute and just put numbers in and just put a breakpoint afterwards. So I don't exactly know what when we're transitioning from undefined to what the value actually needs to be. I mean, it's going to be different, but I want to see if it's alright, this is debug, so this won't be defined out. Oops. So I'm going to put, so what, 0 doesn't work, obviously. I'm going to check if 0 does work. This needs to be current frame, right? Sorry. I need to figure this out. Because it... Yeah, if we're using current frame... When we actually use this Vulkan swap chain image, what value is it expecting? So that's creating this swap chain. That's the So we're creating the image views here. Whoops. This shut down. No, this is the only thing with... Yeah, what does it need to be? Frame plus 1? I can't imagine that's right. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, hang on. It's not the first frame. If this is... Oh wait, where's the breakpoint? We're not transitioning it to... No, it's just undefined. And where is this breakpoint? I feel like you've discovered some crazy undefined behavior every fourth stream. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't know why I was doing this, like straight up. I thought I saw this earlier, saw it didn't work, put it back, but I'm really suspicious about this. I don't even know how you would transition an image that's currently being drawn to. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm using the CPU, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. I've just got to try all the combinations, I think. I know this is kind of lame, but I'm just going to try and reason about them. So, it's possible that it's got to be the Vulkan acquired image. Because what value is that? Oh no, we don't even get there, do we? Or do we? Hang on, let's put a breakpoint. Does it work first time? Then again, I was misusing non-uniform ext for a year, so I should stop talking. No, it's fine. It's I know it's all meant in good faith, and you're not even wrong. Like I found all sorts of weirdnesses with this. It's a testament to. At the same time, it's like, yeah, it should be correct the first time, but it shows like how much I'm improving by. So it's like in my eyes, it's kind of like a positive. If I'm finding like stupid mistakes that are like, why the hell have I done this? There's a good sign that I've made progress in my understanding and knowledge and ability, which is good, in my opinion. Because a lot of this, what I'm doing is, in my opinion, or what I want to be is not the best programmer, but the most improved programmer. And I think anyone can try to achieve that idea. Compared to who? I'm just going to say no one really, because there's not really... Okay, so we're just going to see... it's not compared to anyone in chat or anything. But on a long enough time horizon, if you're the most improved programmer, you're going to be good. So... Does it die? Do you work? Okay, so now this frame is what? 2. Why is it gone to 2? Why is it gone to 2? And what are you? 1? Yeah, you're 1. Of course you are. Oh, where? 0. and you're 2. So your Vulkan acquired image is 1 behind. Yeah. We're transitioning images like in a way that makes no sense here. So previous frame then. Because I've read some Stoic books, and Higakure, which isn't a Stoic book, but it's similar-ish. It's got the same vibe, and they basically always talk about stuff like okay, sorry, I shouldn't be yapping about this and looking at these variables. Okay, so for 2, this makes sense. This. But it breaks on the... Why is that break? You're supposed to index swap chain with the acquired image. That's what I thought too, but it's just not working. That's what's confusing me. I was like, yeah, I'm transitioning the one that's this is the acquired image index. I do the same thing. So we have 0, we have 0. So that's the actual acquired image value. We have 1. Wait, just make sure. I'm just gonna make sure this isn't being incremented stupidly or something. Do you know what I mean? I just want to make sure there's no like plus plus or plus plus or anything like that. Okay. Or plus equals 1 or something. Equals or plus equals. Okay. Okay, I was just making sure that I'm not doing something really stupid and incrementing it myself for some reason. I wouldn't put it past me, honestly. So put this here, we're on 1. So that's definitely incremented by the actual Vulkan itself. 1, 2, 2. And the error says... was undefined. Why are you undefined? Is it even transitioning? Get out of the way. Don't know if anyone ever actually uses. Okay, let's. Zero, 0. Hang on. Is the end rendering in the wrong place? I know it seems such a simple change, but I don't know if this needs to be inside the dynamic rendering. It's a VK command buffer. It obviously needs to be before the command buffer, but are we still rendering technically? It might be any value from 0 to 1 minus image count with no pattern. Yeah, you could be right, it could be no pattern. Let me just keep attacking this, and then if we rule out it being a pattern... Okay. Why is that the case? Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, that at least clarifies that for us. That's convenient. I mean, it literally could be current frame down here, but I'll do that later. I'll do that in a minute. Then we do acquired and then current. Okay. Yep. 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 2. So... does this transition? That's the question. Wish I could see inside. Data's a bit opaque. Right, I'm just gonna see where it dies. Yep. Submit. No. Okay. I don't think there's anything interesting after that. My question is then, why is it erroring out? Where's this function? This function happens before everything in main. Like it shouldn't be... No, it doesn't. This doesn't happen before the new frame function, which again doesn't matter. I'm just going to put a breakpoint here. Okay, so we wait for the fence. What? What? Why did the fence go wrong? That's a fence. What have you got to do with anything to do with anything? To do with the swap chain image? Oh, hang on, because it needs to write to it, right? It's the... When we're actually waiting on the fence, the GPU is writing to the swap chain image. Okay. Which means something. It hasn't transitioned the image it wants to, or the last image. I mean, I could just put them in general format and call it a day. Who cares if it's slower than AMD? No one has an AMD graphics card anyway. Right, okay. I can't acquire the image before I wait for this. That doesn't make any sense. If I don't... You still need to transition... Yeah, that's true, actually. I need to I still, even if it's in general. But I didn't know that, actually. The only exception to general. Ah, right. Yeah, I didn't actually know that. I'm saying I knew it like I knew it, but I didn't. I don't know why I said that. Then my brain's starting to... my brain's going slower than my mouth. I've just been talking so much, I think. Right, okay, so... What can I reason about any of this? That when we... Not when we present, but when we wait, it looks like we're writing to... I don't know what image it wants. It could literally be anything. Like, how do I clear the right... How do I transition the right image? So present needs to be... I'm so lost with this. Because the presentation... Surely the VK... the swap chain image should be in presentation format, but yet the error is saying it's in undefined. Like, it shouldn't be undefined at this point because we've gone through the loop. A few times. Let me also put this back in for sanity. I think this is part of the problem, honestly. This is why we have this here in the first place, because the synchronization's been so wrong. Because I've always wondered why we needed an idle queue wait. Right, okay, so I'm going to get rid of this for a minute. And the only reason I'm going to do this is... Interesting, that instantly died. What? Do that again. We were here? That died instantly. Which is good, because that tells me that something's going wrong instantly. Where's the function for doing this? Pause. Transition image. Did we even hit that? Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is start investigating the... So apparently this doesn't transition. Or if it does it wrong. So what I'm interested in is what if statement actually hits at this point. So undefined, no, it should be transfer. It shouldn't be... Yes, yes, so it should hit this. We do the transition at these access mask and... Oh yeah, someone was saying, Kalia, I don't know if you're still watching, but this is the hardest part of Vulkan. I think you were asking like 2 streams ago. What I'm struggling with right now is the hardest part. Outside of graphics theory and graphics like shader craziness that you can do, that's not strictly Vulkan, that's just knowing your maths and your graphics theory, as well as Vulkan. But this, I think, is generally the toughest part. That's just Vulkan. For beginners, at least. You could argue that when you get more advanced, there's other really difficult parts that are harder than this. But yeah. For all intents and purposes, this is the hardest part. Wait, I'm so confused. Why did it error out there? I don't know what image it's accessing. Because it does like all other transitions as well. It doesn't just do presentation to... it doesn't do presentation and just color. I haven't needed any other ones yet, but I'm definitely gonna split it up so it's not just some giant monolith type. Let's see. Is it really that hard to issue one barrier? It is when I don't know what image we should be issuing it on. That's the tricky part. I have no clue what image we're supposed to be doing this on. It sometimes says that it should be something. Yeah, it's a good point actually, because the frames in flight that come back are just arbitrary. It doesn't matter the order. Oh, okay. Thank you. So that will cause me issues in the future. So in the demos that you've seen online from Vulkan tutorials, they always talk about frames in flight can like finish in any order. So it's very true that I can't just rely on an incrementing value. Because let's say for some reason frame 2 has some weird, I don't know, hiccup or something, and it takes like 6 times longer than frame 0 and 1. Then I can't just increment by 1 each time. That could be... It's not like frame 0 and 1 are going to wait. If they can be presented and acquired, they will be presented and acquired before frame 2. Oh, frames in flight are in sequence. I thought you could get a frames in flight that comes in any order. Or am I thinking of command buffers? Are you sure? Okay, my brain might be tripping up here with current synchronization. So let's just say I have a frame that's like... So they should be in sequence then. Like, why are they not transitioning if I'm getting the acquired image? If I'm using the... Maybe... I don't know. We should all just write to... I think my next engine is going to be a just ASCII. I think that's a good idea. We're just gonna use the standard out to draw everything. Hopefully that's chill, guys. Standard out stream. What am I trying to do? Let's see. Okay, so what I'm going to try this time is I want it to be the same, and if it's in sequence, then is it this order where we transition the first one? I think I've already done this, but I can't remember. Read the implicit synchronization section in Vulkan spec again for more info. Will do. You're almost like a, you know. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. That didn't work because why is it saying color optimal and not presentation? I do not understand. Surely it needs to be presentation. I mean, how is this not presentation? Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this. I just like, what do you want? Okay, so it is present. It's now presentation. Why are you undefined? Okay, I'm going to try and get an error. I know it seems strange, but I'm going to try and get that error, but with the right thing. That's going to... Okay, this is actually a really good idea. Vulkan image index, yes. And... So, error, what did we get? Yeah, I don't understand this error. View case submit to be in layout color. Instead, current layout is undefined. What are you talking about? Why are you undefined? It should be, the error should be current image is in color, attachment optimal. Needs to be in presentation. Yet we are saying that it's undefined and it needs to be in color. Well, it's 5 o'clock, gang. As usual, I'm gonna have to leave it here, unfortunately. We found a very significant performance issue. Well, a very significant issue when it comes to synchronization, and I will keep digging away at this. For anyone who is watching, I will throw in a invite to the server if you're interested in joining. Excuse me. Hopefully everyone's had a great stream. Hopefully people aren't seeing that I'm like running away, but it is 5 o'clock. I usually leave at this time. Anyway, I can push it. I can sometimes go a little bit further, but typically I have to end at these times anyway. So that is why we're ending now, not for any other reason. I will keep attacking this. I will keep working on synchronization, and hopefully we'll have more success tomorrow. Either way, I will see you soon, and have a good day, everyone. Okay. Bye, guys. Appreciate everyone who watched.